I confess that my breakdown between your mother and I has caused emotional unbalance in the family.
Most of the time, I don't like my family. Everyone in my family.
Take a breath.
Everybody. I feel like I'm angry at everybody in my family. I don't like my family. If they weren't my family, it wouldn't be my friend.
Indeed, it appears that Ashley, the niece of the Braxtons, has revealed a shocking amount about the family's deep-rooted trauma. The ex-husbands of the Braxtons are now openly discussing everything they witnessed within the Braxton family, and trust me, what they're sharing is devastating. When they claim that the Braxton sisters are suffering from generational trauma, baby, they mean it. Even Tony's ex-husband, Kerry Lewis, is crying as he speaks out, pouring his heart about the emotional scars he still carries. This family left them completely shattered. And now, the truth is coming to light. How Tony exploited her own sisters to advance her career. The cause of the animosity between Tamar and Tawanda, in particular, is heartbreaking. A battle that started behind the scenes, tearing the sisters apart in ways we never imagined.
Hey, Moore, you had me thinking I was crazy too. I see, you know what, it felt like a surviving Tamar moment. You know, they always talk about how, women is being mentally abused and physically abused. Men get mentally and physically abused too. Cause she just socked me in my jaw before. You feel me? And I'm sure Jeremy and before and got their head cracked. Okay? And them gas station pills, you gotta do something to stay afloat.
Let's face it, every family has its problems, but the Braxton family, especially Braxton M. Braxton and his family, truly take it to the next level. The entire drama between the Braxton sisters began with Evelyn and Michael Braxton Sr., and Ashley has revealed a shocking truth about one of her auntie's spouses. Her story about having an unsuitable relationship with one of the family members has exposed the deep-seated issues within the family, and the way they've treated her both then and now is heartbreaking. At just 16, the family started pushing her away, placing all the blame on her, and leaving her feeling so alone and unwanted that she was forced to walk away. Ashley claims that after she shared her story in a viral TikTok video, the Braxton family refused to support her publicly or personally. It was only Tamar, her aunt, who reached out to her. Feeling abandoned, Ashley moved to an entirely different country to escape and start over.
Before anyone says anything, please let it be known and let it be clear that as I am in this journey and in this process, and as I'm healing and trying to understand all of this stuff, that it feels really good to have a family member behind me, okay?
She'd enjoyed Ashley's message and reconnected with her after being away, having gone through a similar experience and facing other life challenges. But why did the other aunts and family members do the same? Nothing at all. You'd think that Grandma Evelyn would be horrified by what had happened to her own granddaughter. But nothing has changed. It's like they don't care. I mean, Ashley even claimed that her own father, Mikey, sent her a cease and desist letter, essentially threatening her with legal action if she dared to share the truth. That's just plain nasty. It's unfortunate that the person who was supposed to be there to protect, defend, and console her failed miserably. Heartbreaking, right? And it's even more disheartening to see how her family is more concerned with keeping her silent than actually reintegrating her into the fold. And we all know that Ashley isn't the only one who's faced this. When Tamar courageously revealed that she had been touched multiple times as a child, her own sisters essentially slapped her in the face with their words. The way they turned their backs on her is shocking and shows just how deeply this family's issues run.
Well, first of all, I was very disappointed in finding out via social media because our family is closer than that. And to have someone else regurgitate that story to us. Well, I can only speak for me. But for someone else to tell me the story of something that happened to my own family is very disheartening.
They essentially stated that, while not necessarily the truth, what Tamar alleged had happened to her was her truth, which was just a fancy way of saying they didn't believe her. It's shocking how they were more irritated that Tamar didn't call them about it from the start, rather than showing concern that she had to endure such a disaster in the first place. And apart from Tamar, her sisters, especially Tracy, were also insensitive about the whole situation. But one thing we can't deny is that Mama Evelyn may have known all along. Check this out, because she never allowed Tamar to name the family member who had abused her. Could it be that she was protecting someone all along? The situation is beyond disturbing. The sisters all had deep issues, mainly because of their mother and father. By the way, Michael Sr. wasn't much better. He left them after their mother divorced him, only to marry his sidekick, which left the Braxton girls heartbroken on so many levels. It's a painful reality. And when their mother was hospitalized for an injury, Toni had to step up and take on the role of support for her sisters. Once she did, it didn't stop there. When she first entered the industry as a singer, it seemed as though Toni was also in charge of her sisters' careers. Was it her way of taking control, or was it a pattern of exploitation?
My sister Tracy is the one who said to me, "Toni, you know, when you make it, you can help us come on." So I always tried to abide that, but the responsibility of it is so heavy for me. I feel I can never live my life, and I never used to say it. I never used to say anything to anybody.
Each of the Braxton sisters aspired to become famous, either by performing or by marrying a wealthy man. Now, we're not saying that Toni doesn't have a beautiful voice. She certainly does, but her vocals were never on the level of Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston. So Toni enlisted her sister Tamar to be her hidden voice. While Toni was out there competing with artists like Mariah and Whitney, she was desperate to carve out her own lane and succeed. And, truth be told, it was actually Tamar who gave Toni the voice she had, along with Toni's assistant Wanda, who helped out with Trina occasionally singing backup. But when Tamar began to crave her own fame, the cracks in the family dynamic became impossible to ignore. The group consisting of Trina, Tawanda, and Tamar couldn't function properly because the sisters were constantly fighting. And when Tamar and Vince started dating, things took a dramatic turn. Vince was able to land them a reality show, which Tawanda believed would be the perfect platform for the family to stay relevant and unite, something that would be extremely advantageous for her too. But instead, Tamar unexpectedly became the breakout star of the show. The rivalry and animosity between the sisters grew intense when Tamar began her solo career, which included spin-off reality series and, eventually, her own talk show. According to Tamar's ex-husband Andrew, she later appeared on several other reality shows, further intensifying the tensions within the family.
Felt guilty because you know how you've been acting, and however, excuse me, let me finish because I let you talk. Thank you. I will, and I will, and I will, and yes. So, and then you decided that you wanted to say something, like you just couldn't let him say something nice about me.
Do you think you've been the same exact person?
He does.
No, I'm asking you. Do you think that you?
I know I'm the same.
I'm asking. Do you think
I'm
that you?
answering. I have been
answer.
the single too.
So
Tony,
you
you're
are.
not my Thor type.
So you are.
Nor am I afraid of you. So don't talk to me like that, okay?
Hilarious.
Every time we get
According to Andrew, Wanda and Trina blamed Tamar for their group's failure and still harbor deep animosity toward her. Why? Because they were unable to establish a steady career in the future, while Tamar's rise to fame left them feeling rejected and overlooked. As if that wasn't enough, Wanda's spouse, Andrew, was unemployed and didn't seem to care much about doing anything, leaving Wanda to shoulder the responsibility of working alone for years. She was the one who had to put food on the table and support the family, all while occasionally helping with the children. The strain she endured was immense, and it's no surprise that the resentment only grew stronger over time.
Andre's a writer. He basically sits home and writes books, his own books. And he takes care of the kids, which is great. Except for one thing, he's not out selling any of his books, which means I have to take care of the household because he's not bringing any money in.
I don't like some of the things you do, True. Basically, I feel like I married my mother. And I didn't like my mother. I loved her to death. But I didn't like her.
It got so bad that Wanda was ultimately charged with theft and forgery after receiving them, and to make matters worse, Wanda was hit with yet another fraud case by her landlord for failing to pay rent and causing damage to his property. Tracy also faced financial struggles, and their landlord even posted about it on Instagram. When it comes to Tracy and her husband, Kevin Sr., they failed to pay rent and tried to create the illusion that they owned the property. Andrew claims that Tamar and Toni occasionally tried to assist their sisters, but not always in the most loving or caring manner. Toni had a bit of a diva attitude, while Tamar was always present, but with her own set of challenges and temper swings. Despite their struggles, Tamar and Toni were the most successful of the sisters. Meanwhile, Tawanda, Tracy, and Trina were often treated more like servants than sisters when they requested help. Their self-esteem was constantly assailed by Tony and Tamar, who seemed to relish controlling them and their mom. The sisters' growing rivalry and animosity were never truly addressed by Evelyn, who supposedly often sided with Tony and Tamar because they had the money and industry contacts. This ongoing rivalry and family pain even started to seep into their relationships and marriages. Despite their best efforts, they could always find a man to pop the question, but they were never able to go the long distance with anyone. Evelyn's resentment was one of the reasons none of the sisters were able to make their marriages last.
They have love, and look at them. I'm just saying. She's in love. I'm just saying.
You're just saying what?
I'm just saying they have love, and look at them. It's always something, for God's sake.
What do you mean, look?
Every man cheats except for President Obama, because if he cheated, then everybody would have known about it before he was president.
That's right.
Tawanda's marriage to Ander and her current relationship is a bit peculiar. She seems to be much more in love with him than he is with her, and it appears Scene is only sticking around for the benefits of their relationship. As for Tony, her relationship with Burntman wasn't the best either. He was erratic, and they just didn't get along. Tony also had a troubled marriage and a divorce from her ex-husband, which only added more complications. Their relationship on the reality show was an emotional roller coaster, especially when Gade would mock Trina every chance he got. Trina went from one toxic mess to another, entering another tumultuous relationship with her new husband. Tracy did eventually forgive Kevin for his actions, including allegedly having a child outside of their marriage, but Tamar has had her own struggles. She has been married and divorced 3 times, and it seems the pain doesn't end there. Her relationship struggles seem never-ending, with everything spiraling after the loss of a family member. After her passing, she gave everything to her son, and it's clear that Kevin Sr. is still upset about it, showing just how deep the family wounds go.
Braxton said checkmate in real life. Left everything to her son. The cheating husband gets nothing. My girl was moving in stealth mode in complete silence, had the lawyer come and record her final wishes before her health started to decline so that it couldn't be contested. May we all learn and aspire to be Tracy Braxton.
And people are still discussing the dysfunction and secrets within the Braxton family. I'm honestly relieved that I wasn't raised in such an environment. When it comes to the Braxtons, they are messed up because of their parents, who are treated like deities, and you never speak out against them. They have black and white problems. Each one of their complaints has a lot of truth behind it. But at the core of it all, the real issue seems to be, I honestly believe the family could heal if Mama Evelyn took responsibility for her mistakes. But the more I think about the Braxtons, the more negative energy they give me. It's all so genuine. But what do you guys think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, bad guys.